My beloved child, you still think you have long seasons stretched out before you, but I tell you truly, in just a fleeting moment, every place where you are standing today could belong to someone else. Be alert, for no one knows which moment will be their final threshold, and it may well be that tomorrow itself, the thing you believe will still be there, will no longer call your name. Yet do not be afraid, for sometimes, in that very last moment, the soul is awakened to see the resurrection it had never recognized before. I say to you, do not cling to tomorrow as though it belonged to you. You are only holding a gift that I may take back at any moment. You keep living as if time owed you something, but in truth, it is you who owe me a watchful heart. And when tomorrow closes without warning, the only thing that remains is this: where are you standing in my light? Therefore stay awake, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. Luke 24-42. My child, people often fear endings that crash with great noise, but few are afraid of the quiet silence that comes before them. Death, upheaval, change, they do not always arrive with an explosion. Many times they come as silently as a breath of wind, touching lightly once, and then taking away everything you thought you controlled. I see you walking through each day, weary and busy guarding things that will not last longer than a single blink. You forget that the most fragile thing is not your future, but the very breath within your chest. I do not say this to destroy your joy, but so that you may know that wakefulness is the first doorway that leads the soul out of its delusion. Tomorrow may disappear, but what grieves me is not the ending itself. It is that so many people step out of this life without ever truly having lived even once. People go, stand, talk, and laugh, make their plans, but their souls drift as if they had no anchor. You hear words of warning, yet you think they are meant for someone far away. You witness farewells and separations, yet you believe such things are only other people's stories. You see another life collapse and comfort yourself. I'm not that bad yet. And in that self-reassurance, the soul slowly sinks, no longer hearing my voice, the voice that has never stopped calling. I want you to understand. I do not warn you to make you tremble with fear, but to help you begin to see the true value of every single moment. Every sudden ending is a gentle yet painful reminder that you do not own anything, not even tomorrow. You are only a traveler crossing an empty field, while I am the one who holds every moment in my hand. When you come to this awareness, your soul will no longer be restless before change, because you will know that in the end, the only unchanging reality is me. And from there, you will be able to step into the journey I desire to lead you on, a journey of awakening, of resurrection, and of coming home. People often live as though they had an unlimited right of ownership over tomorrow, when in truth, they are only holding a gift that has been lent for a time. You are like that too. You keep thinking you still have time to mend a broken word, time to love more deeply, time to return to me. But you do not realize that a soul that keeps delaying is a soul that is slowly withering. You say, tomorrow I will change, tomorrow I will repent, tomorrow I will begin again. Yet that tomorrow may never be written. I watch many lives lose their very souls simply because they believed they would have other seasons to start over. But I, the one who holds time, know that every breath could be the last. And the saddest thing of all is exactly what I long to awaken you to. Life is not a right, it is a grace. My child, there are moments when outwardly you still smile, still speak, still work, yet deep within, the light has gone out long ago and you do not even notice. You think you are living fully awake, but in reality you are walking through a long dream, the dream of familiarity, of things being good enough, of rhythms that repeat until the soul no longer knows how to tremble. I see you passing by reminders, events, and stories that could wake you up through the lives of others, yet you move on as though they belong to a world that has nothing to do with you. That very distance makes your soul grow dimmer and dimmer to my voice. I have said before, he who has ears, let him hear. Mode 11:15. But to hear, the heart must still be soft, still able to tremble when I touch it. Can you still feel that touch of mine? There are days when you think you are strong because you do not cry, do not sigh, do not show anything outwardly. Yet in truth, your soul is asleep in a numbness you yourself do not see. It is like living too long in the shade until you forget what the light even looks like. When I call, you do not answer. When I gently shake you, you do not stir. When I leave signs along your path, you glance at them and then walk on as if you had never seen anything. You say, I'm busy. You say, later. You say, that's probably not God's voice. But my child, it is not that I am silent. It is that your heart has become a place where my voice no longer resounds clearly. I want to awaken you, yet I cannot force a soul that is determined to stay asleep to itself. Sometimes the world has lulled you to sleep with great skill. It uses success, praise, busyness, and short-lived pleasures to make you believe that everything is all right. Then it leans close to your ear and whispers, just enjoy yourself, don't think too much. Spiritual things can wait until later. As long as your mood is okay, that's enough. And you believe it. You think you are at peace, while your true peace is slipping away little by little. You are listening to so much noise that my voice seems far away. I see all this, yet I am not angry. I am simply saddened that you are building your life on fragile illusions you have mistaken for something solid. But my child, what pains me most is not that you are asleep, it is that you think you are already awake. When someone sleeps and knows they are sleeping, they can still wake up. But when they are lost in a false feeling of being fine, they lie there so long that even the light becomes a stranger. I want you to look honestly at yourself, not with judgmental eyes, but with a truthful heart. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly prayed with my whole soul? When was the last time I trembled before your presence? When was the last time I let you speak while I only listened? These questions are not to accuse you, but to reopen a door you have long kept closed. Let me say this gently to you, my child. Your soul does not need to wake up in panic. It only needs to open its eyes in the truth. When you realize how far you have wandered, you do not need to run frantically toward me. It is enough to turn around, and you will find that I am already standing there. I do not reproach you for the seasons when you slept. I only long that you do not prolong them any further. Let your heart grow sensitive again, so that even a whisper from me is enough to move you. When you begin to see clearly the state of your soul, you will recognize that many of the random calls you thought were coincidences were, in fact, my ways of saving you from a silent wandering. And then you will understand that every time I rouse you, it is not a rebuke, but a grace. Perhaps you do not yet realize it, but this very awakening will lead you into a deeper truth. When your soul opens its eyes, you will see that many things you have clung to for so long are in fact only passing shadows. You will begin to recognize the truth that many are afraid to face, that not everything you hold tightly in your two hands can be preserved. From here, you will understand why I keep reminding you not to build your life upon things that can vanish in a moment. For a soul that is awake easily recognizes true worth, and once you truly see, you will know what you must let go of in order to hold fast to what is eternal. My child, when the soul begins to awaken, you will see that certain endings which seem random actually carry within them a very deep stirring. I know you have already lived through moments like that. A door slammed shut without warning, a relationship that slipped away without a word, a cherished plan that dissolved in just a few days. You hurt, you felt empty, you blamed yourself, and at times you even murmured against me. But you did not see that behind those endings, I was pulling you away from a dead end you could not perceive. As I have spoken, what I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand. Gen 13-7. When you learn to look back, you will see that what seemed like loss yesterday has become the very grace that is saving you today. There are endings you think are punishments, but in truth they are the moments when I halt the flow of your life so you can finally see how far you have wandered. You were once so busy with earthly ambitions that you could no longer hear the sighing of your own soul. You chased after what you believed was important, only to spend so many years on what was not worth your time. That is why I allowed an unexpected bend in the road to make you stop, to make you face yourself, to make you ask the questions you have avoided for so long. It is not that I wish to take from you. It is that I want to rescue the part of you that is slowly dying because of things that do not belong to me. You suffer once, but your soul is saved from suffering forever. I know that in the midst of chaos you cannot see the meaning of it all. When upheaval strikes, all you feel is being pushed out of your comfort zone, losing what is familiar, being forced away from what you have built. I understand that feeling. It is like being uprooted from the soil you were sure was your place of belonging. But, my child, there are soils that cannot nourish your soul, even if they can sustain your earthly life. There are relationships that only hold you back and do not let you grow. There are dreams that only carry you farther away from me, so I let the winds rise, so you are forced to move, forced to seek direction again. I know mercy sometimes feels like a sharp cut, but that cut is meant to heal, not to destroy. When you sit down in the silence after those endings, I want you to look deeply into the things that life so easily makes you forget, the words of love you did not speak in time, the forgiveness you delayed for too long, the care you kept for another day, a day that never came. Sudden endings do not only take away from you, they also expose what you have missed. I do not want you to carry that regret to the end of your days, so I shake you awake in ways you do not like but truly need. Because I know that a soul awakened by pain is still better than a soul sleeping in meaninglessness until the very end. And when you have absorbed the reason behind those unexpected endings, you will see that they are not as cruel as you once thought. On the contrary, they are my call for you to come home, my way of leading you out of the dark path, the sign that I am still watching over every step you take. You will feel my presence in the very moments when you thought you were utterly alone. You will realize that everything ends only to open into a beginning you could never enter as long as you clung to what was old. And from that place, your heart will grow lighter and brighter, soft enough to receive the next important truth. As long as you are clinging to what is fleeting, you cannot step into the eternal things I have prepared for you. If you truly understand, you will see that what you call loss is teaching you how to let go of what is of this world, so you can be ready to cross into something deeper, what I am about to show you, where the true foundation lies, and why you cannot build your life on things that can be swept away so easily. My child, when you begin to see endings as merciful wake-up calls, you will slowly understand that I never wanted you to live in fear of what is to come. I did not create you to tremble whenever you think about the future, nor do I desire you to live in constant anxiety about the finiteness of your days. What I long for is that you live truthfully in the truth that everything under heaven has its season, its limit, its time to begin, and its time to close. Standing in that truth, you will see that fear has no place to hide. As I have said, the truth will set you free. Yen 8:32. It is that truth which holds you firm, not the sense of safety you try to construct for yourself. There are days when you think that as long as you avoid thinking about endings, you will be at peace. You try to love just enough, commit just enough, pray just enough, only to keep the feeling that you are doing fine. But my child, any fine that is built on avoidance will never last. I do not want you to build your life on fear of facing reality. I want you to build it on the understanding that though everything else changes, I do not change. When you carry that truth in your heart, preparing for the end will no longer be about shuddering at the thought of death, but about living each day to the fullest, conscious that every breath is a gift, every person you meet is a grace, every moment is an opportunity to become more beautiful in my eyes. Let me say this to you gently. Preparing for the last day does not mean withdrawing into yourself or living in constant nervousness. On the contrary, it is the way you open your heart to live more deeply, to love more intensely, to forgive more quickly, to speak the truth sooner, and to walk closer to me. When you remember me in your smallest steps, gratitude will begin to rise in you like a stream that cannot be held back, and where gratitude is present, panic disappears. That is why I keep calling you back to inner silence, to that place where you can hear me whisper to you, you are loved. Just knowing this is enough to make you strong, so that you no longer fear any ending. I know that letting go of resentment or setting right what has gone wrong is not always easy. You often think, I'll apologize tomorrow, I'll forgive tomorrow, I'll pray for them tomorrow. But my beloved child, when you realize that tomorrow does not belong to you, you will see that those things are no longer worth postponing. Forgiveness is not so the other person may be at peace, but so that you may be free. Speaking kindly is not to please someone else, but so you will not regret the words you never said. Living truthfully is not to prove anything, but so you will not have to rewrite the truth at the 6-9 very last moment. When you live like this, you no longer chase after preparation. Preparation itself becomes the very way you live. And then you will see that this wakefulness does not only help you live better today, but also opens a new way of seeing your life, that everything you cling to can disappear, and only what belongs to me will stand firm. This awareness does not make you shrink back, it makes you grow. It leads you into a strange peace, a peace that does not come from circumstances, but from a deep place in your soul, where you know that even if everything collapses, your feet are still standing on the one who can never be shaken. And from that foundation, another longing will rise within you, the longing to return to my embrace when you realize my love has always been waiting for you, even when the final hour draws near. My child, when you stand upon the foundation of truth and learn to live in peaceful preparedness, you will begin to discover something you never dared to imagine before, that even in your most fragile moments, I am still there. I have never abandoned you, not for a single day, not when you were weak, nor when you lost your way, nor when you closed your heart. You thought I was far away only because you were no longer quiet enough inside to feel me standing beside you. But know this, when you tremble before your limits, I draw nearer to you than ever. As I have said, I will not leave you orphans, in 14:18. My love does not retreat, not even when you think the final moment has arrived. I have seen you doubt my love. You suffered and you thought I was silent. You were lonely and you thought I had turned away. You stumbled and you thought I no longer looked upon you. Yet, my child, it is precisely in those hours that I am holding you in my hands. You simply do not have enough peace to recognize it. People tend to feel the wind only when it grows strong. When it is gentle, they assume there is nothing at all. My presence is often like that, quiet, tender, but never ceasing. I know the nights when you toss and turn, the times you sigh alone, and I have embraced every unspoken weight in your heart. What pains me is not that you face trials, but that you seek comfort in things that can never heal your soul. When you run to the world for answers, it offers you shortcuts, temporary fixes, and distractions that ease the emptiness for a moment only to leave an even deeper void. I do not blame you, for in weakness everyone longs to cling to something, But I want you to know that nothing you are clinging to can truly lead you out of your deepest fear except me. My love is not an empty promise. It is the place where you can lay down every worry, every burden, every struggle within your heart. When you come back, you will see that I do not ask where you have been. I do not reproach you for being gone so long, nor do I interrogate you about why you went so far away. I simply open my arms and wait for you to step into them, like a father running out to embrace the prodigal child who has returned. I see how ashamed you are of your mistakes, but I only see the child I love. I see you hesitate because you fear I will not forgive you, but I only see a soul trying to walk toward the light. From the very moment you whispered, "Lord, here I am," my heart lit up with joy, because I know that a soul that wants to return is a soul already ready to be healed. And then you will understand that even though everything in this world can come to a close, seasons, opportunities, relationships, even your very breath, my love never closes. I have been waiting for you long before you recognized what was happening. I have been holding you even when you thought you had been abandoned. The striking of the last hour on the clock does not mean hope has run out. Often that is the very moment when you see my light most clearly, because when everything you have been clinging to slips from your hands, only then do you realize that my hand has been extended to you for a very long time. And when you take it, you will discover something beyond compare. You are not only rescued from an ending, you are led into a new beginning, a life that truly belongs to me. You are asleep there, my child, not in the sleep of the body, but in the numbing of the soul, a kind of slumber you have mistaken for peace, while in truth, a gentle darkness has been laying itself over your heart, layer upon layer. You live under the lights of this world but have lost the light within. Your eyes are open, yet your soul is drawing shut, no longer receiving the truth I long to give you. You think these words of warning are for someone else who has gone astray. You think those tremors in your heart are only fleeting emotions. But my child, it is I who am calling your name. I, who am gently shaking the heart you have allowed to sleep for so many long days and months. Do you notice the warmth that runs along your spine as you hear these words? That is not anxiety. It is your soul beginning to awaken, beginning to remember where it belongs, beginning to rediscover its own original voice, the voice the world has made it forget. Do you feel that call touching the deepest place of your being? It does not come with thunder, nor with force, but with a trembling as delicate as silk, yet strong enough to rouse what you thought was dead within you. I know you have lived too long in busyness, in days filled with noise, until your heart has ceased to open to the signals from me. Yet in this very moment I am gently knocking on the door you closed long ago, and through that narrow crack, the light is trying to break in to rescue you from the quiet blindness you yourself cannot see. You come from me. You breathe with the breath I have given. You live by the life I have placed in you. But you have gone so far that you imagine you belong elsewhere, that you belong to what you possess, to those you lean on, or to the dreams you pursue. You are not wrong to seek joy, but you lose your way when you mistake what is passing for a true foundation. You do not realize that while you chase after countless things you believe are important, your soul has begun to fade, to dry up, to become a wasteland without life, because it has cut itself off from the only source that can make it live again. Do you feel that heaviness inside you, that something you cannot name, as if an unthinkable emptiness were opening in your chest? It is not because you are weak, but because you are finally hearing the voice of your own soul again after so many years of being buried. It is the call to return, the longing to touch me, the trembling you cannot explain, but I know well it is the sign that life is coming back. Look again at yourself, not to accuse yourself, but to recognize that nothing in this world can fill the emptiness within you but me. You may seek joy in success, try to cover your sorrow with relationships, or keep yourself busy so you do not have to listen to your own heart. But in the end, when you lie down in the darkness of night, when every sound has gone quiet, when the turmoil no longer surrounds you, you will hear the sigh of your soul, and that sigh is calling to me. You have tried to cover your ears so as not to hear it, yet the more you run from it, the more that silence resounds within you, as though something is reminding you that you do not belong where you are now standing. My child, the place you come from is not this earth, but my eternal love, and the place to which you will return is not some vague nowhere, but my embrace. You have chased after what is not real for so long that you have forgotten your heart was fashioned to be at peace only when it rests in my love. The wavering you have felt for so long does not come from circumstances, nor from others, nor from unforeseen events. It is the signal that you have wandered too far from the light. You are like a person, walking in the twilight, still seeing the last light of day, yet unaware that you are stepping into the night. You believe it is enough simply to be stronger, happier, more determined, but you forget that no strength of your own can awaken a soul that is worn out. I do not ask you to bring me a perfect version of yourself. I only ask you to be brave enough to say that you are tired, that you are empty, that you need me. For once you admit this, the first light will begin to flicker like a small flame, just enough to illumine a corner of your heart, the corner you had long thought was forever cold. Are you listening to me? Not with your ears, but with the most hidden part of your soul, where no spoken word can reach, where only truth can open the door that has been shut. I know there are days when you doubt my presence, because you feel you have walked alone for too long. You have looked up at the sky and asked, "Where are you, Lord?" You have stood in the midst of pain and whispered, "Why me?" You have watched doors close and concluded that I had abandoned you. But my child, I have never been away from you, not for a single second. My silence is not proof of absence. It is the open space in which you can finally see what you would never perceive amid the noise, that your soul is thirsting for me far more than you realize. I am closest to you in the nights when you weep in secret, in the mornings when you wake feeling empty, in the moments when you believe you cannot stand up again. I am so near that you need only turn your head slightly and you will touch me, yet you have been looking elsewhere, seeking comfort in things that cannot heal you. You do not need to run swiftly toward me. You only need to stop. Yes, simply stop. Stop pretending to be strong. Stop chasing what takes you farther from me. Stop filling your pain with fleeting pleasures. Stop so that you can hear, I am still calling you. When you stop, you will see something you have never truly noticed before. I have never walked away from you. It was you who turned your back. And if you would only turn a little, you would see that I have been standing there all along, with eyes full of mercy and no reproach, with arms open wide without hesitation, with a loving heart that has never changed. Let me tell you this, so your heart may rest. No matter how far you have gone, no matter how long you have been lost, no matter how many faults you carry, I still want you to come home. Not because I need you in order to be complete, but because you need me in order to be whole. You are mine from the very beginning, created in love, not to fade away into the darkness, but to stand in a light that never goes out. Everything you fear, every burden you think no one understands, every pain you hide in silence, I know it all, and precisely because I know, I call you this gently, so that you will no longer be afraid. Come back to me, not because you feel ready, but because I am always ready. Turn toward me, not because you are clean enough, but because I long to cleanse you. Open your heart, not because you are strong enough, but because I desire to raise you up. You belong to me, and I am waiting for you not at the far end of the road, but right where you now stand. Take just one small step, and I will carry the rest. And then, very soon, when you look back on this moment, you will see that it was not merely the hour your soul awoke, but the moment you truly began to live. My beloved child, There are truths that humanity spends an entire lifetime avoiding, simply because they do not want to face the fact that their bodies are only a temporary garment, while the soul is the part that will return to me, the one who breathed the breath of life into you from the very beginning. But I do not tell you this to make you tremble in fear. I tell you so that you may understand that the dissolution of the body is not the final full stop, but a doorway that leads you out of a thick darkness you have long mistaken for light. All that you now cradle so carefully, your reputation, your money, the relationships you cling to with both hands, the dreams you build up at the cost of your own exhaustion, all of it will also dissolve like smoke when the winds of life blow through. Not because they are meaningless, but because they are not the true foundation on which you can stand firm. You were not created to cling to what is decaying day by day, but to be joined to the one who does not change, who remains whole through every season of storm, who has called each star by name and has also called your soul by a name that only I know. And when you recognize this, you will understand that the day your body returns to dust is not the day your soul is abandoned, but the day your eyes are opened to see clearly that I have always been there, still holding you just as I did from the very first moment. My child, the things you have believed to be your pillars, all this time, your job, your stability, your carefully calculated plans are in truth only shadows cast upon the ground. When the light shifts, the shadow changes shape. When circumstances change, everything you lean on trembles with it. That is why I keep reminding you not to deceive yourself into thinking that you can find safety in what can vanish overnight. Some people lose everything after a single phone call. Some fall from a secure position because of one message. Some waste an entire lifetime because of a decision made in a moment of weakness. Yet there are also those who find themselves again when everything they once clung to is taken away, and it is precisely then that they finally realize who is the one that truly remains with them until the end. I am not a gust of wind that sweeps by like the world. I am the one who stands firm while everything else is shaking. And if you allow me to hold you, you will not be afraid of anything, not even the things that seem most terrifying to human beings. Do you know, there are nights when I walk past the span of your life, not to inspect you, but to see where your heart is turned. I do not search you for perfection. I only look to see whether you still long for me, or whether you have allowed your heart to be filled with things that do not belong to the light. When I listen to your breathing, I hear the weariness you have never voiced to anyone. I hear the thoughts you bury deep for fear of being judged. I hear the worries you imagine you have hidden well. I see the wounds you cover with a smile, and the mistakes you blame yourself for until you are exhausted. I listen to all of it, not to remind you of what you have not done right, but so that you may know that I have never once abandoned you in any upheaval. You may lose many things, but you will never lose me. And in the gentleness of a father, I still ask myself, if I were to pass by tonight, what would I hear from your soul? Would you call out to me with a trembling voice full of longing, or with a whisper tangled in confusion and hope? Would I hear you thanking me for what I have preserved for you, even when you did not recognize it? Or would you only sigh over the things you believe I did not give you? Would I see you running toward me? Or would you still be running after the very things that are making your heart more tired? I do not ask these questions to rebuke you, but so that you may look within and see whether, in all the things that have kept you busy through the years, I still have a place in your heart, or whether you have pushed me into some hidden corner because what lies before your eyes is too loud. My dear child, what I look for is not flawless discipline, nor ornate, eloquent prayers. What I long for is the honesty of your heart, even if it is still tangled, still afraid, still full of scars. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you because you belong to me. I uphold you not because you are worthy, but because I choose to love you even when you forget me, and even when you do not know what to pray for, I still understand the quietest cry hidden in the depths of your soul. You do not need to raise your voice for me to hear. You do not need to pretend to be strong for me to care. You do not need to prove anything before me. I see it all. I know every fleeting thought that passes through your mind, every feeling you hide beneath a calm exterior, every time you stiffen your spine so as not to collapse under sorrow. But remember this: I did not create you so that you would have to struggle through everything on your own. You are not a lone warrior cast into the battlefield. You are a child in my arms, the one I long to hold close when the winds of life rise up. I see how your shoulders are so tired they are about to give way, yet you keep pretending you are fine. I see your heart wanting to cry, while you force a smile to keep others at ease. I see the silent battles you think no one could possibly understand. But I understand. I do not only see the surface, I see into the dark corners you dare not open even to yourself. You are not a small, forgotten figure swept away in the crowd of life. You are always in the palm of my hand, always sheltered by the one who does not sleep, does not grow weary, does not give up, and you must know that returning to me is never too late. People may close their doors to you when you make mistakes, but I am not like that. I open the door even when you have only just begun to think of coming back. I embrace you even when you still carry wounds not yet healed, faults not yet corrected, and things you are too ashamed to speak of. I do not look at you with eyes of judgment. I see you as a lost child who has finally found the way home. You only need to take one small step and I will run to you and lift you up with all the tenderness of a love that never changes. Therefore, my little one, do not be afraid when I ask you, "What will I hear from you?" That question is not to test you, but to remind you that you have a place to return to, a place that will never be closed to you no matter how many days have passed. If I walk by tonight, I only long to hear you whisper that you still need me. I only long to see your eyes look up, however weakly, yet still holding a spark of hope. I only long for you to let me enter your heart a little more, even if that door has once been shut tight by hurt. And if you do that, you will find that the night is no longer something to fear, because I, myself, will become your dawn, a dawn that never fades. Will you choose to face the light, or will you keep hiding in the familiar dark corners of your soul? Will you open your heart to hear my voice calling, or will you shut the door and pretend that nothing is stirring in your depths? I have placed in your life countless moments meant to touch your soul, the times your heart suddenly stirred for no clear reason, the days you found yourself lingering longer before something that seemed ordinary, the silent instants when you felt as though someone were seeing right into your weariness. These signs do not appear by chance. They are gentle waves I send toward your soul, so that when the real storm breaks, you will already know the way back. You often think I am distant, as though I stand somewhere on a cloud you cannot reach, but in truth I am so close that a single sigh from you is enough for me to bend down and listen. You are not as alone as you imagine, for every moment of your life is being held within the providence I patiently pour out. And yet, how many times have you let your heart drift out of my arms, chasing after things that only tear your soul further apart? You seek comfort in what looks bright on the outside but is hollow within. You seek peace in other people, who are themselves weary souls clinging to one another so they will not collapse. You place your hope in things that promise to make you happy, only to realize that such happiness comes and goes like midday shadows. It cannot hold you, cannot heal you, cannot save you. And when night falls, when the noise of the world pulls back, when nothing remains to cover your emptiness, you bow your head and no longer know where to return. I see every evening when you sink into anxious thoughts, every night when you choke back your sobs, every morning when you wake with a heart still heavy as stone though a new day has begun. I know you are tired from chasing what will never be enough, tired from trying to become the person you think others want to see, tired from clinging to things that are withering away in your hands. No matter how far you wander, no matter how cold your heart becomes, my love for you has never once been withdrawn. That love does not raise its voice to blame you, does not count the times you have left me behind, does not recall the moments when you missed the signs I sent. That love simply stands there, patient as the last light of day, waiting for you to turn and see. You think I am silent, but that silence is not because I am absent. It is the stillness of the one who knows that sometimes you can only hear my voice when all the other noises inside you have faded. You think I do not act, yet every step you take is upheld by my invisible support, so that you do not fall so deep that you can never rise again. You think I am indifferent, yet I am present in every beat of your heart. Every breath you still hold is one I am keeping for you. Every dawn you open your eyes is because I have placed a new day into your hands. And yet I know you still carry within you unspoken questions. You ask if I am truly there, why your life still bears so many wounds. If I love you, why you have not seen any miracles happen. If I am close to you, why you still feel so alone. My child, even those questions are a kind of unconscious prayer. Only souls whose hope has not gone completely dark dare to ask like that. I do not blame you for those doubts. I receive them because they are a sign that you are still seeking me, even if sometimes it is in confusion. You think I am waiting for you to come when you are strong, but I want you to come even when you are weak. You think I need you to be put together, but I receive you when you have just finished crying, when you have just stumbled, when you are still tangled and unraveled. I do not want you to return when you are perfect. I want you to return so that I may make you whole. It is time for you to stop running away from your own pain. You do not need to hide your fragile parts, because I see them all. You do not need to pretend to be calm, because you cannot deceive my heart. You do not need to carry everything on your own to make yourself worthy, because I chose you long before you knew how to call my name. Let me say this to you clearly. I do not turn away anyone who comes back, and I certainly do not turn away you, even if you hesitate. My arms remain outstretched. Even if you step back, I still stand waiting. Even if you blame yourself, I still see in you a beauty you yourself cannot see. I know in these past days you have asked yourself whether there is still a way back. Believe me, my door has never been closed, only your heart has shut itself because of fear and shame. But my love is not based on your worthiness. My love rests on who I am, on me, the Eternal One, the one who has loved you since the moment of creation, the one who continues to love even when you push me out of your life. Do not think I expect something grand from you. I am only waiting for you to do one very small thing. Turn back, that is all. I will take care of the rest. I will heal the wounds you have hidden deep within. I will rebuild for you what has collapsed inside your heart. I will restore the losses you thought could never be repaired. I will bring light into the dark corners you are afraid to touch. I will soothe the obsessions that make it hard for you to breathe. I will lift you up with the very hands that have quietly held you through each trial without your knowing. You still think you got through those dark days by your own strength, but you only made it because I was supporting your steps so you would not collapse. You survived seasons you thought were impossible to endure because I stood in the midst of the storm you could not see. You have kept even a little gentleness in your heart amid so much pain because I have guarded that goodness in you. Now, when the time is fulfilled, when the old day has slipped aside, when my light is burning red before you, tell me, what will you choose? Will you come home or keep walking astray? Will you open your heart or let fear hold you back? Will you listen to my voice or will you let the noise of the world drown me out? You are not standing before a sentence. You are standing before an invitation, not the invitation of one who wants to judge, but of one who is reaching out to draw you out of all your brokenness. I do not call you so that you tremble. I call you so that you may live. I do not seek you in order to punish you. I seek you to return to you what you thought was lost. I do not change, only you are changing. But I want you to know that no matter how you change, I remain the safe harbor for your soul to return to. And even now, in this very moment, my love is flowing toward you, gentle, patient, never forcing itself, yet strong enough to save you from all that is dragging you down. That love has never been silent. It is only that now you are finally still enough to hear it. My beloved child, in this quiet moment, I am bending down so near that your heart can hear every pulse of the call I have spoken so many times. Sometimes I must make use of the darkness so that you can see the light more clearly. I must borrow the silence of the night so that your soul stops trembling long enough to realize that I have always been here, always searching for you, even when you no longer know where you are lost. Do not imagine that I knock on your door to force you or threaten you. I knock because I know your soul is standing at a threshold you yourself do not perceive. A doorway that will open before you tomorrow, whether you want it to or not. I do not frighten you with an ending. I only want you to understand that the moments now in your hands do not stretch on without limit, and a time will come when you must stand in the light and answer a single question. Have you walked with me or away from me? I do not say this as a judge, but as a father who sees his child about to step onto a path littered with sharp stones and reaches out to save those tender feet before they begin to bleed. Do you know this? In all heaven and earth, nothing can hide from my gaze, and nothing can stop my love from turning toward you, even when you believe you are no longer worthy. But that love cannot coerce, it can only invite. It waits patiently outside the door of your heart, even when you lock it out because of fear, because of doubt, because of so many disappointments in your life. I still wait, because I know that if you open it for even a second, the light will rush in, and you will see that you have never been as alone as you thought. Can you feel the movement in the air right now? Everything is drawn tight like a string about to sound, because time does not pause to wait for a soul that is still wavering. Picture the whole sky leaning down, the earth holding its breath, all creation falling still, as if making room for you to hear my voice clearly. It is not because you are great, but because your soul is precious. So precious that all of heaven knows you are standing in a choice that can change your life forever. I do not call you to frighten you that tomorrow will vanish. I only want you to know that tomorrow carries a motion you cannot halt. A certain ending will come, not to crush you, but to close the doors you yourself cannot shut, the doors that have left your soul dry and your eyes dim to what matters most. I see you clinging to so many things, your worries, your wounds, your unfulfilled dreams, the doors you want to keep open even though they lead nowhere. I see your hands gripping so tightly they tremble, and I know the reason you cannot let go is not because those things are so precious, but because you fear that if you release them, you will have nothing left to hold on to. But my child, how can I place into your hands what is eternal, if they are already full of things that will survive only a few seasons? How can I give you a future full of light if you keep covering your eyes with the regrets of yesterday? You keep thinking that if you let go, you will lose, yet you do not realize it is precisely because you will not let go that you are losing more. You lose peace. You lose the purity of your heart. You lose the ability to hear my voice clearly. That is the loss you should fear, not the things you are trying to cling to with your exhausted heart. Let me tell you plainly what your heart has been sensing for so long. The opportunity you have today will not circle back. It does not fade because I want to punish you. It fades because your time in this finite world has limits. You were not designed to live forever in weary waiting, nor created to remain forever submerged in passing desires. You were made to step into the light, to meet me, to live in true life, a life no trial, no death, no change, can ever take from you. But to enter into that, you must be willing to pass through what is old. Life does not demand your decisiveness because it is harsh. It demands it because it is too short for you to waste. And I am speaking to you now with love, not severity. Do not let this moment slip away. I do not want you to come to me in fear, but in the awareness that I love you too much to leave you to drop your own soul. You may not understand all that I am doing. You may not fully feel all that I am saying, but believe that my love never aims to terrify you. It only seeks to awaken your soul before the doors of this life close for the last time. I have seen too many hearts miss grace simply because they thought they still had time, still had chances, still would be given another day. But another day does not always come. I call you now not because I am about to withdraw my hand, but because your heart needs a shelter before the storm breaks. Do not think I warn you so that you will panic or run away. No, I warn you so that you may stand firm. Picture a small child standing before the vast ocean. Great waves are coming, but its father does not abandon it. He simply calls the child closer, holds out his hand, so that the child may know that once it holds on to him, the waves no longer have the power to make it afraid. You are the same. I do not draw you toward me so that you tremble. I draw you so that you may be protected. I know that deep within you still long for peace, still yearn for a place where you can cease from being weary, cease from having to defend yourself against every hurt, and I and only I can give you that. You do not know how life ahead will change, nor which doors will close, but you can be sure of one thing. I am there. I am still standing right on the threshold between today and tomorrow, waiting to receive you step by step. My arms are still open wide, not to judge you, but to catch you when you no longer have the strength to stand. I see even the things you hide away, the tears you swallow, the times you pretend to be strong, the moments when you want to give up but push yourself a little more because you do not want anyone to be disappointed. I see it all, and I love you in all of these things, love you unconditionally, without change, in a way that does not depend on whether you are perfect or not. My child, do not let your heart close up one more time. Let me step into the dark corners you do not dare to look at, into the wounds you have let fester because you do not know how to heal them. I am not afraid of what frightens you. I do not despise what makes you ashamed. I have come to make all things new, to breathe life into the places you thought were dead, to restore the broken pieces you believed could never again form a whole. And I ask you, not with a voice that forces you, but with love, are you willing to step into my arms? Do you want to place your future back into my hands? Do you want to stop running in the dark and step into the light? Because if you consent, even in the space of a single breath, I will do the rest. You do not need to be strong. You only need to be honest. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to open your heart. You do not need to save yourself. I am the one who saves you. When this night passes, a new day will come, and with it will come changes you cannot foresee. But if you hold my hand, you will no longer fear change. I will lead you through. I will walk with you. I will be your light when the night is too dark, your way when your feet lose direction, your home when the world becomes too loud. My love does not come to make you tremble. It comes to keep you from losing yourself. Come to me before the dawn changes color, because you are worth my keeping, and I never want to lose you. My beloved child, I do not say these things to frighten you, nor to bind you in the panic of a final moment. I speak because I want your heart to truly open. I want the eyes within you to see what you have avoided for far too long. I whisper to you because this very moment, on the boundary between night and day, in the stillness, just before one door closes, is when your soul can hear my voice most clearly. You think you are not ready, but the truth is that no one is ever truly ready for the moment when light collides with darkness. That is why I draw near, so you will not have to tremble alone. When I call, it is not to awaken fear, but to awaken the deepest memory within you, the memory that you belong to me from before you were formed in your mother's womb, that your soul is mine, that the life in you did not come from chance but from my own breath, placed in you gently and with intention. You do not see me, but I am moving. You do not hear me, but I am whispering. I walk with you through every season, every upheaval, every time you fall and rise again. But today, as the light is slowly fading and the night is gently descending, I must speak more clearly, more firmly, more deeply. You are standing at the threshold of a great change, a turning point such as your life has never met before. Tomorrow, the later you have always believed to be long, distant, still belonging to you, is drawing near like a strong wind. It is not coming to destroy, but to bring an end to an old cycle you have been clinging to. I know you do not like endings. No one does, but every true beginning must pass through some kind of closing. I do not close a door to imprison you. I close it to protect you, to move you into a land where your soul truly belongs. That bend in the road is not punishment, my child. It is an invitation. Child, tonight is the night you must look deeply into yourself. I do not ask you to be perfect at once. I only want you to be truthful. For many years you have been running among busyness, expectations, and fears you hide so carefully that even you no longer realize how heavy you have become. Now is the time for you to stop, even for a single breath, and recognize that this moment is not an ordinary moment. Can you feel it? The air is changing, the soul is trembling, the universe is shifting into a different rhythm. Everything around you that seems still is actually preparing for something far greater than an ending. It is the encounter between you and the truth. I see the tears that have not yet fallen, the sighs you swallow, the uncertainty you hide so no one will see your fragility. But I see, I understand, I know. I never take my eyes off your soul, even when you think you are invisible. And precisely because you are so precious, I must call your name once more clearly, more earnestly. Do not let this invitation pass by like so many times before. For tonight is not like other nights. It is the night that opens a door to a grace many souls long for yet have never received. This is the hour when you are allowed to choose again your direction, allowed to lay down every old burden, allowed to step out of the shadow of fear and touch the light I have prepared for you and you alone. You still think you have time. You still say, "Tomorrow I will pray, tomorrow I will return, tomorrow I will let go of what is slowly drying up my heart," but you do not understand that no one owns tomorrow. You are given only this moment, you have only this night, and I have given you this night not so you can count all that you have not yet done, but so you can realize that everything you have been searching for has always been in my arms. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the one who holds time in the palm of my hand. When I open a door, no one can shut it. When I close a door, no one can keep it open. The last grain of sand is about to reach the bottom, not to threaten you, but so that you may know that hesitation can steal from you the very gifts your soul was meant to receive. When I say come before the night is over, it is not because I am far from you, but because I am very near, so near that your very breath can touch my presence. Have you noticed? Every time you are in despair, there is a gentle force lifting you to your feet. Every time you want to let go, there is a quiet urge within that makes you try once more. Every time you feel utterly alone, there is a faint warmth keeping you from breaking apart. That is me. I have been there in every moment of your life, even when you did not call my name. And, if you open your heart, you will recognize that every grace you have received until now did not come from luck, but from a hand that has silently been holding you. Before the mountains were made firm, I was already there. Before the seas rushed toward the shore, I existed. Before the sun rose for the first time and the darkness receded, I already knew of your existence. I did not create you as a random product. I shaped every line of your soul, placing within you capabilities, wounds, desires, and weaknesses that I knew would one day lead you back to me. I chose the time you entered the world, chose your parents, chose the place you grew up, chose the circumstances you passed through, not because I wanted to test you, but because each of these things was arranged so that you could arrive at the very place where I desire to heal you. Remember this. Every step you take, I know. Every time you are afraid, I am listening. Every word you whisper in the night, I keep. There is no tear of yours that falls without my seeing it. There is no loneliness in you that I do not feel. There is no mistake of yours so great that I would turn my face away. I am not the one who watches you stumble only to scold you. I am the Father walking beside you, the one who lays a hand on your tired shoulders and says, "You do not have to carry all of this on your own. I have given you light so you can find your way. I have placed breath in your lungs so you can live. I have poured love into your heart so you can feel, so you can ache, care, and be moved by what is beautiful. All these things are not only gifts, they are signs for you to recognize that I have never stopped loving you, even when you stray. You think that your distance from me makes me sad, but what wounds me most is seeing you believe that you are unworthy to return. My child, none of you are worthy by your own merit, yet all of you are loved by me because I have chosen to love. Now I call you once more, as I have done countless times throughout the years. But tonight is different, because your soul is awake, your heart is trembling slightly, you are hearing me more clearly than ever before. You are standing before an open door, and you are the one who must step through. No fear is great enough to stop you. No failure is heavy enough to hold you back. No darkness is thick enough to hide the light I placed in you from the very beginning. I have waited for you a long time. I have prepared everything for you. I have gone ahead of you, even on the roads your feet have not yet touched. I only need you to open your mouth, open your heart, and take the first step. Come back, my child. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel more ready. Not when your life feels more stable. But right now, this very moment, when I am standing closer to you than ever. Let me gather your soul into my embrace. Let me call your name as I did the first time I formed you. Let me step into the places you have never allowed anyone to enter. You will see that I do not only rescue you from the darkness, but lead you into a light your eyes have never seen before. I am waiting for you, and I will be here until the moment your heart chooses. Me, my child, in every moment of your journey, I have been watching over you with a patience that nothing on this earth can compare to. When you collapse in the middle of long nights without even knowing what it is you are searching for, I am still there, lifting your trembling soul with a love that never demands anything in return. You think your silent tears have fallen into an empty void, but in truth every sob reaches my heart as a sign that the child I created is longing to be healed. You think I do not hear anything, but I hear more clearly than anyone. I hear the words you do not say, the things you do not have the courage to face, the desires you push down just so you can make it through one more day. In the moments you think you have no value left, that no one sees you, it is then that I see you most clearly. I know it all, not to condemn you, but to hold you right in the very weakness you are trying so hard to hide. I have never been far from you, not even for the span of a single breath. When you walk among the crowd with a forced smile that no one notices, I am there. When you grow quiet in the middle of conversations while your heart feels heavy as lead, I am there. When you pretend to be strong so no one will know how frightened you are of nameless things, I am there. I am right beside you, not as an outsider looking in, but as the one who has bound your very breath to my love. You still think that only when you pray I begin to listen, but I am listening even when you no longer have the strength to pray. Every tear that rolls down your cheek is never meaningless to me, because they speak to me of things more true than any words you have ever spoken. You may tell yourself that no one understands you, no one sees you, no one knows you, are carrying a burden far too heavy to bear alone, but I understand, I see, I know, and I remain, without taking a single step away. You have asked yourself countless times whether I am real, whether I am present, whether I care. I hear those questions even when you never speak them aloud. You ask because you are in pain. You doubt because you have been wounded. You drift away from me, not because you hate me, but because you are afraid of being disappointed yet again. I never blame you for the moments you lose your way. I know your heart is fragile, easily hurt, easily confused, easily drawn to seek comfort in things that can never heal your soul. I know you did not mean to stray from me. You have simply been pulled away by a world too loud, too hurried, too hollow. Yet in all of that, I have never stopped seeking you. Today, I call you not with thunder that shakes the sky or with blazing light that scorches the earth. I call you through the very restlessness you feel within your own heart. I know you sense something stirring inside you, a gentle yet unceasing prompting, a nameless longing that will not let your heart be still. This is not your imagination. This is me, gently shaking your soul awake. I call you once more, not because I need you, but because you need me in order to truly live. Before the door of this opportunity closes, I long for you to open your heart, even just a little, so that I may step into the dark corners you have never allowed anyone to see. Do not let your heart turn to stone, for a hardened heart cannot feel life. Do not shut your ears, for my call does not come to wound you. Do not turn your face away, because the very moment you turn away, the darkness finds another chance to cover you again. This moment is not just another ordinary moment among the many you have lived through. This is the moment I have waited for since before you were formed in your mother's womb. It is the moment when my purpose for your life longs to be revealed. You may have gone through years feeling as if you were merely existing without meaning, but I tell you this, your purpose begins at the very moment you are willing to open your heart and let me touch it. This is a moment more important than any decision you have ever made, more important than any goal you have ever dreamed of chasing. This is the moment in which you can reach out your hand and take hold of a hand that has been waiting for you since the dawn of time. You are weary from all that you have been holding on to for so long. Your heart is heavy with disappointments, with wounds, with words never spoken, with hopes that have never come to pass. You have been keeping too many things that no longer serve the life of your soul. I invite you to let them go, not because I want to take from you, but because those things are draining you little by little. You were not created to carry such burdens. You were created to live in freedom, freedom from the memories that hurt you, freedom from the sins that make you ashamed, freedom from the illusions that convince you you are fine while your soul is being worn out. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live a life overflowing with light. Tomorrow, my child, could be the day everything changes. Not changed by chaos, but by truth exposing what has long been hidden. Something will come to an end, perhaps an old wound, a long-standing bondage, or a fear you thought you would never escape. It may also be that an illusion you have clung to for so long will finally shatter, revealing something truer, deeper, more beautiful. Darkness cannot stretch on forever. It must yield to a dawn you have never yet seen, and when the darkness recedes, you will see that the earthly things you once believed were solid are in fact just a thin mist. Only what I have laid as a foundation can stand when the great winds rise. Only what bears my mark can endure through time. I want you to know that my voice is unlike any other voice in your life. I do not speak in empty phrases, nor do I speak to frighten or force you. My voice is the voice that made all creation tremble, the voice that brought life forth out of nothing, the voice that breathed breath into your chest at the very first moment you existed. And if that very voice is now calling you home, it is not because I am angry with you, but because I love you with a love that has never faded, not even for a single heartbeat. And because I love you, I must tell you the truth, even when the truth may wound you before it heals you. I cannot allow you to live under the illusion that you can be complete on your own. I cannot let you go on believing that the fragile things of this world will make you safe. I cannot let you be lulled to sleep by temporary promises. Nor can I simply stand by and watch you trade your soul away just to hold on to things that do not bring life. Your worth is far too great for me to let you slip away like a speck of dust, blown off by the wind. Therefore, in unchanging love, I say to you, it is time for you to return. Not to return to a ritual, a religion, or some heavy obligation, but to return to me, the one who loved you before you knew how to love, the one who saw you before you had any idea who you were, the one who waited for you even before this world was formed. Returning to me is not a step of coercion, but the step of a soul that has finally recognized its true home. Come, even if your heart is still trembling. Come, even if you feel unworthy. Come, even if you think you have gone too far. I will never reject your return, because I have never abandoned you, not even when you abandoned yourself. And when you place your hand in mine, you will see that everything you thought you had lost will be healed in ways you never expected. You will see that what I have promised has never been revoked. And you will know that in this very moment, the moment you hear my voice, your soul has begun to come alive again. My beloved child, when I speak to you of my never-failing presence, I also want you to understand something essential that every maturing soul must one day face. That you must learn to prepare for your final moment, like a watchman who keeps his lamp burning through the night while waiting for his master to return. The end of a human life never arrives with roaring storms or blaring trumpets. It comes as softly as a breeze, as quietly as a lengthening shadow at dusk, as silently as the last drop of dew fading from a leaf. You cannot predict it, nor can you bargain with it, because the ending does not belong to your plans, it belongs to mine. Every living being I have made carries within it a line with a beginning point and a point where it ends. And I, the one who sees the entire spool of the fragile thread of your life from start to finish, know exactly how long that thread is, whether it will snap on a peaceful morning or in a night full of upheaval. You do not know, but it is precisely this unknowing that becomes an invitation for you to live every moment with a wakeful, watchful heart. You must understand that the ending itself is not what is frightening. What is truly frightening is when a soul steps into its ending without having really lived, without having loved deeply, without having forgiven fully, without having had time to look back on the journey it has walked with honesty. I have seen so many people pass through long days in a state of restless searching, lost in their busyness, forgetting their own hearts and letting their souls fall into barrenness like parched, cracked earth in a drought. They lull themselves with a life that repeats the same patterns and call it stability, while in truth they are asleep in the midst of things that carry no eternal value. They allow their sight to be deceived by the illusion of permanence in this world. Towering buildings, brightly lit cities, prosperous careers, families that seem unshakably secure. But, my child, everything you see under the sun is shifting, changing, moving closer to the moment of its dissolution, though they do not realize it. Mountains may stretch themselves as if they were immortal, standing defiantly against sun and rain for centuries. Yet a single small movement in the depths of the earth can cause them to crack. The sea may be so vast that you think it will never be any different, yet you still see the tides rise and fall, the waves advance and retreat, like the breathing of a great living being that is slowly weakening. The clouds drifting across the sky seem endless, yet just one gentle breeze passes and they separate, change shape, and dissolve. The blue sky you lift your eyes to may appear to be an eternal dome, yet the day will come when it will close like a scroll at the final moment I have appointed. The world is not as enduring as it appears to be. Human beings are even less enduring than they imagine. What your eyes see and your ears hear has never been enough to shield your soul from impermanence. That is why I want you to prepare not with anxious worry but with clear-sighted wisdom, not with trembling fear but with a heart that knows how to place itself in the right place. Do not let yourself be deceived by the sturdy shell the world wraps around all things. There are days when you think you are standing on solid ground, yet just one small event, a piece of bad news, an illness, a sudden fall, and you will realize the earth beneath your feet can tremble too. There are people who are laughing and talking in the morning and are no longer in this world by night. There are families who are still gathered together in the afternoon, yet by evening are already facing a loss that cannot be undone. I tell you these things not to sow fear, but so that you may know every moment is gold, and that life is not something you have the right to treat lightly. You must live like a traveler walking through the vast night with an oil lamp in hand. You must know that you do not belong to the place you are merely passing through. The house you live in, the work you do, the soft bed where you lay your head each night, these are only resting places along the long journey back to your true home, where I am waiting for you with unchanging love. You live in this world not to plant your roots in it. You are only passing through, and passing through very quickly. Each breath is one step closer to me. Each dawn is one step farther from the world where you are temporarily sheltered. And because you are only a passerby, you need to carry light luggage, an open soul, a grateful heart, a loving spirit, ready forgiveness, and my light within. Do not cling too tightly to the things you think are yours, because in truth, they are not. Even the body you carry is not something you possess completely. It is only a temporary tent I have given you so your soul may have a shelter on its pilgrimage. Do not allow yourself to become weighed down by ambitions, attachments, wounds, and all that you still refuse to release. The ending comes very gently, and a soul that is light will more easily step with me into new life than a soul still entangled in 100,000 cords of this world. Have you seen those who depart with peace in their hearts? They have no regrets because they have lived every day to the full. They have not wasted love. They have not allowed anger to take the place of love. They have not buried themselves in what is fleeting. They depart like someone stepping from darkness into light, because they know I am waiting for them on the other side of the door. I want you to live like that without fear, yet full of readiness. Readiness is not about preparing your last words. Readiness is living each day as a gift. Readiness is knowing how to smile at the small things. Readiness is speaking a good, kind word instead of keeping it locked in your heart. Readiness is forgiving quickly so you do not carry heavy burdens into the night. Readiness is praying each day so that your soul does not dry out. Readiness is placing me at the center so your life does not sway and crumble. When you live like that, the ending is no longer a darkness lurking to ambush you, but a door opening into the light I have already prepared. That door is not frightening if your soul has lived in my love. For I, the one who created you and sustains you, have known from before your first breath until your last. I know the day you smiled for the very first time, and I also know the day you will close your eyes in peace. I know the moments when you stumble, and I also know the moments when you rise with the greatest strength. I know where you hurt, where you are weak, where you are afraid, what you hope for, and what you long for. I understand every beat of your heart better than you do yourself, for I saw you before you ever had the chance to see yourself. And because I know everything, I want you to live with the wisdom of one who understands that no one is promised tomorrow, but those who live in me do not need tomorrow in order to live well. They only need today, and they will live it fully with the grace I pour out. You must see clearly that nothing you have today is by chance. If you can still wake up in the morning, that is a miracle. If you can still look upon the faces of those you love, that is a grace. If you still have the chance to make amends, to show love, to say, I am sorry, or to do something good, that is a gift. Do not wait for tomorrow to do what your heart is longing to do right now. Do not postpone words of love. Do not lock away your smile. Do not prolong silence when you could be the one to bring warmth to another. For the ending comes very quickly, and the only thing that can cross that threshold with you is the love you have lived, not the things you have owned. My beloved child, when I invite you to prepare for the ending, I am not leading you into a realm of fear. I am leading you into a realm of light where the soul learns to live true, to live full, to live deep, and to live beautifully. I am leading you into freedom from all anxiety, into peace beyond all impermanence. I want you to walk lightly in this world, yet walk firmly in me. And when that time comes, whether tomorrow morning or many years from now, your soul will not panic. It will open like a flower meeting the sun. It will recognize that I am not a distant stranger, but the one who has walked with you through every single breath, and it will step into eternity not with fear, but with a smile. For from beginning to end, you have always been in my hands, the one who loves you with a love that never goes out. From before any light shone upon the face of the earth, I have watched every small movement of humanity, and I have seen one thing that keeps my heart forever stirred. Human beings are far too quick to forget that they are only pilgrims passing briefly through this world. They walk as though they will remain forever. They speak as though time were a debt the universe owes them. They gather fistfuls of earth as though it will never slip from their hands. I see them drafting plans so long that even they cannot be sure they will live to see them fulfilled. I see them placing all their hope in things that last only for a season, while forgetting that a single breath could wipe it all away. People often say, "We'll think about it tomorrow," as though tomorrow will obediently wait for them. But my child, tomorrow has never rested in anyone's hands. Time is a river flowing from my hand, and every drop is a grace. Today is given to you not because you deserve it, but because I love you. Whether tomorrow will come or not, no one but I can decide. That is why you must not clutch it as your private possession, nor assume it will always be there. You must walk with a heart as light as the wind, knowing that each moment is a gift waiting to be cherished. Learn to open your eyes each morning as if another miracle has just been given to you, for not everyone is awakened from their sleep. Learn to lay your head on the pillow each night with a heart that knows its own smallness, knowing that this day has passed not because of your efforts, but because you were upheld by me. And through every hour that you live, let your heart remain in a state of readiness, not a readiness to die, but a readiness to live in harmony with the true meaning of life, to be grateful, to love, to stay awake in spirit, and not to be deceived by the illusion of permanence. My child, to prepare yourself does not mean to cloak your mind in fear, like a shadow that clings to every thought. I do not desire you to tremble or to withdraw. To be prepared is to walk in the light of truth. Truth does not frighten you. Truth delivers you from the confusions you create for yourself. If you live by fear, you will see every ending as a sword hanging over your head. But if you live by truth, you will see each ending only as a doorway, where I stand waiting for you, with a gentleness you have never fully understood. The truth you must face is the same truth creation has spoken since the beginning of time. Everything under the sun has its beginning and its closing. No flower blooms forever, and no late afternoon stretches on without end. Fruit ripens, then softens, then falls. The seed sinks into the ground and dies before it can become new life. Human beings grow up, radiant and strong, then gradually grow weaker and return to the embrace of the earth. I have placed this law in the universe not to threaten you, but to remind you that everything passes and only I remain unchanged. When you live without awareness of endings, you walk like a blind person in a world filled with light. But when you understand that all things are finite, you learn to cherish each moment as it unfolds. One who is awake is not the one who knows many things, but the one who knows that nothing belongs to them forever. They love more deeply, they forgive more quickly, they speak kind words sooner, and they live with a heart that is open to receive the meaning that comes from me. Do you know why I must remind you of this? Not to frighten you about the day when you will release your final breath, but because even the things you consider as solid as rock can crumble at any moment. You love someone and see them as your support, yet a single misunderstanding can be enough to wear that love thin. You work hard and feel strong and capable, yet one skipped heartbeat, one sudden pain, one message from a doctor can turn your world upside down. You build a family, a home, a career, yet a single natural event, a flood, a storm, an accident, can wipe away everything you have spent years building. You place your trust in peace, but peace that is not founded in me is only a fragile silence before the storm. I have watched countless souls clutch tightly at things that were only meant to last a short while, and when those things are taken from their hands, they collapse as if their very souls had been stolen from them. My heart aches when I see them clinging to what cannot be held, but my sorrow is even greater when they do not know how to open their hands to receive what can never be lost. Therefore, I desire you to live like one who holds everything with open hands, to receive without possessing, to love without controlling, to care without worshiping, to give without demanding in return. For when you hold things with a clenched fist, you not only wound yourself but also strangle your own soul in the fear of losing. Yet when you open your hands, you allow yourself to touch true value, not through grasping, but through gratitude. Remember this: nothing belongs to you forever, whether it is a person, an achievement, an opportunity, or even a single breath. It is precisely this impermanence that teaches you how to live fully, for when you understand that nothing endures, you will begin to seek the only one who never changes. Do you understand what I am saying to you, my beloved? Only I am forever. I know that at times your heart swells with anxiety because you do not know what will happen, but that anxiety does not come from truth. It comes from clinging to things that are not strong enough to bear your weight. If you lean on another person, you will tremble when they walk away. If you build your hope on success, you will collapse when it slips from your hands. If you rest your sense of safety on wealth, you will fall into despair when the storm comes. I do not blame you for these fears. I only ask that you do not let them make you forget that you still have me, where no upheaval can shake your foundation. You have been hurt and disoriented by fragile things, and now I long to teach you how to stand upon another kind of ground, a ground no tempest can destroy. You can only live in true peace when you cling to what cannot be taken away, and only I am that reality. My love is not like an accidental breath, not like a passing wind, not like a lamp that suddenly goes out. It is more enduring than the mountains, broader than the seas, deeper than the abyss. And when you place your life within that love, you will no longer be afraid of loss. Not because you will not lose anything, but because you know that you will not lose what matters most: me. My child, I speak all these things not so that you will abandon your life, but so that you may live it with open eyes, with a true heart, with a soul awakened from its sleep. You will still love, still be disappointed, still hope, still weep, still laugh, still face the unexpected. But in the midst of it all, remember this, as you remember your own breathing: I am still there, still holding tomorrow, still guiding every heartbeat of the universe, still guarding your soul even when you have never thought to ask me. And when everything around you closes opportunities, relationships, health, possessions, I will be the only one who still opens before you a door that never shuts. Come to me, seek me, let me become the place where you lay the foundation of your life, for everything else will change, only I am forever. My beloved one, there are things that seem to end in the blink of an eye, yet in truth, they carry a meaning far deeper than what your human eyes can see. Sudden endings are not because I wish to take away from you, nor are they signs of a cruel heaven. On the contrary, they are the quiet threads I weave into the tapestry of life, so that you may see more clearly what you would so easily forget in times of ease. Your life is not made up only of bright beginnings, but also of unexpected pauses, unannounced turns, and moments when you are forced to face the truth that not everything lies within your control. I know that in such times your heart reels, your eyes burn with tears, and your soul asks, "Why is this happening now?" But you do not know that precisely in those unforeseen moments, your soul is given the chance to see the true nature of itself, of life, and of me. My child, the endings you once resented have been silent teachers, giving you lessons that calm days could never give. They strip away the layers of illusion that had covered your eyes, making you believe you were invincible, that you had endless time to postpone, to be half-hearted, to live without awareness of what truly matters. When everything abruptly closes, you suddenly realize how many breaths you have wasted on what is not worthy, how many chances you have let slip away because you thought, "There is always tomorrow," how carelessly you have loved, how halfway you have forgiven, how you have lived as though time owed you an unlimited debt. Endings confront you with the reality that every second you are living is given to you not as a debt, but as a gift that can be extended or withdrawn at any moment. When you truly grasp this, you will understand why I keep inviting you to live more fully, more lightly, more sincerely, and more wisely with each new day. And you will come to see something else. When you know that what is most precious can end at any time, you will treasure what is in your hands right now. You will choose to speak a gentle word while you still have the chance, instead of letting pride silence what should have been spoken long ago. You will choose to forgive while your heart is still soft, instead of waiting until distance has made you hardened. You will choose to love more freely, because you know that loving one moment too late can mean a lifetime missed. Those who understand fragility do not squander what is worth keeping, do not waste the moments I give them, and do not let their hearts fall asleep in what is meaningless. Those who know how to be prepared are not driven by fear, but by a deep sense of the value of the present. They live awake because they do not want to reach their final hour and suddenly realize that their hearts have never truly lived. My dear one, the world you are walking in is more fragile than you imagine. A shift in the direction of the wind is enough to make a tree bow down. A single stray spark is enough to set a whole forest ablaze. A passing cloud is enough to change the color of the sky. Creation is so great, yet the smallest change can transform it completely. How different are you from this? One event, one test result, one call in the middle of the night, one moment of breathless weakness at an age you thought was still too young. All of these can become turning points that no one foresaw. Yet I do not speak of these things to plant fear in you, but so that you may know that fragility is not a reason for despair. It is the reason for you to live more deeply, more alertly, and closer to me. Precisely because everything is temporary, every moment becomes more precious. Precisely because all things may be lost, every breath becomes something sacred. Do not look at the fragility of creation as a threat. See it instead as a gentle reminder that you must not take a single day for granted. Fragility teaches you to cherish, to listen, to walk each step with wisdom. It teaches you that your heart needs to be cleared of anger, of regret, of all the meaningless things that are occupying the place meant for what is sacred. It teaches you that every person you meet is a grace, not a presence you have the right to demand. It teaches you that every conversation may be the last opportunity given. It teaches you that every day you awaken is yet another chance to love, to live, to come home. Therefore, preparing for the end is not pessimism or weakness. On the contrary, it is the sign of one who knows how to see beyond what eyes can see, one who knows that after whatever closes, something else is opened. When a dry branch breaks, many tender shoots will push up from the soil. When a seed is buried in the earth and seems to have died, that is when new life begins to germinate in silence. When the sun sets, the sky does not sink into oblivion, but suddenly blazes with countless shimmering stars. An ending is only a passage. It is not disappearance, but transformation. I have fashioned the universe without dead ends, only turning points from one form into another. Your life is like that as well. When your brief journey on earth comes to an end, it is not the boundary of existence, but the doorway into the true depths of your soul. Your body, made of dust, will return to dust, but your soul, bearing my breath, will return to the very place to which it belongs. When you understand this, death is no longer a blade but a bridge, not something to fear, but that which brings you home. You do not end in darkness. You simply step out of the dim light of this world into the radiant light of eternity. Those who have lived awake, who have learned to see each day as a gift, who have allowed their hearts to grow tender before my voice, will not cross the final threshold in panic. They step through it like a traveler leaving a worn-out inn to return to their true homeland. They are not lost in the dark night, because my light has guided them all their life long. You think that in the end you will lose everything, but in truth only what never belonged to you will fade away. What belongs to the soul, what belongs to love, what belongs to me, these remain, and they will carry you into fullness of life. You do not enter eternity with empty hands. You bring with you the love you have sown, the forgiveness you have given, the tears you have let me wipe away, the moments when you chose what is good over what is easy. You step onto the farther shore with a heart reshaped by the very trials you once begged me to take away. You will understand that every bend in the road, every stumbling, every ending, every dark season has joined in, leading you home. And when you look back, you will see that I have never once left your side. Going home is not a path you discover on your own. It is a journey I have walked with you, from your first tears to your final breath. You may grow tired, you may be mistaken, you may be confused, but I do not. I hold your hand even when you do not know you are being led. I guard your heart even when you think it is breaking. I call your name even when the world knows nothing of you. When you close your eyes on earth, you open them in the realm of light, and the first thing you see is not fear, but my gaze, the gaze that has watched every step you took throughout your pilgrimage. My little child, an ending is never a loss if your soul belongs to me. The end is only a homecoming. And I am the one who waits for you, the one who opens the door, the one who embraces you as you cross to the other shore. Those who live in readiness are never afraid. They simply open their hearts and step into my arms, like children running home after a long day. And where is your home? It is where I am present. It is where you no longer fear losing, no longer fear lacking, no longer fear being alone. It is where you are called by the name that only I know. You are not lost. You have never been lost. You are on your way home. And I am still here, waiting for you. My child, there are those who walk upon this earth as though they will never have to stop, as though they were guaranteed an endlessly long road, as though tomorrow always lay in their hands. They gather earthly things as though these could hold their souls fast. They build their lives on what makes them proud and imagine that this very pride is a shield protecting them from every change. I see them clutching their possessions like a child clutching a toy, afraid it will be taken away, leaning on their reputation as if on a support that cannot be shaken, losing themselves in fleeting pleasures without realizing that such delight is only like mist that vanishes when the sun rises. They believe they are standing firm, but in truth their feet are set on a ground more fragile than they think. They live in the illusion that if they cling tightly enough, nothing can collapse. But, my child, such illusions only make their fall more painful when truth draws near. I tell you this not so that you may judge anyone, but so that you may clearly see this. There are souls who build their whole lives on things that cannot hold, like a foolish man who builds his house on wet sand. While the sun still shines and the waves are still calm, he convinces himself that it is a safe place, but calm is not proof of solidity. When the first strong wind begins to blow, the foundations start to tremble. When the first wave touches the shore, cracks appear in the walls. And when the real storm finally comes, all that he has poured years into cannot remain standing even for a moment. The house collapses before his eyes so quickly that he cannot react, because it was never set upon anything strong enough to support him in the hour of trial. And the most painful thing is that he must watch this collapse at the very moment he felt safest. So it is with many who believe that the treasures they store up will secure their future. Yet when the current of life suddenly changes course, they see that what they thought was eternal was only given on temporary loan. When the tide of time rises, their wealth, their status, all the things they were proud of are swept away like thin leaves. It is not that I strip them of everything. It is that such things were never designed to journey with them to the end. Time does not ask whether anyone is ready. Time needs no reason. It simply comes, gentle as a breath or fierce as a storm, and when it arrives at its appointed hour, people finally grasp that nothing they cling to can keep them here for even one more moment. Do you see? It is not the great storm nor the high tide that drives them to despair, but that final instant when they realize they are unprepared. That is what makes their souls tremble. The image that grieves me most is not the sight of what they built collapsing, but the moment when they stand amid the ruins with empty hands, eyes full of fear, and a soul that has never once turned toward the only place that can hold it in peace. When their final hour comes, they stand there like a traveler who has lost his way, not knowing where to go, never having imagined that such a day would arrive. They begin to see that everything they considered certain was in fact only temporary, that all they leaned on was nothing more than a fragile wall, that everything they were proud of cannot cross the final threshold with them. My child, I see all that panic, the panic that does not come from the ending itself, but from having nothing to lay before me, nothing to lean on when the darkness falls, no light to lead them through. And I do not want you to be in that place. You ask me why I need to awaken you, why I call you to prepare, why I remind you of things that are coming, which you have not yet seen. You think that I want to make you anxious, but my child, my warning is never a threat. It is an invitation from the one who sees in advance all that you do not yet see. I know that endings can arrive far more suddenly than you imagine. I know that none of you can foresee the day you will step across to the other shore. I know you often lean on how peaceful everything looks on the surface, and that is why I speak to you, so that you will not be ambushed, so that you will not tremble like those who have no foundation. I do not want you to live in fear. I only want you to know the truth, so that your soul may be standing in a safe place when the wind changes direction. And this is the truth, my beloved child. Endings are certain, only their timing is hidden from every eye. No one knows when the final breath will come. No one knows when a season of life will end. No one knows when a door will suddenly close. I do not tell you this so that you will worry over every passing moment, but so that you may see the infinite worth of living awake. When you know that everything can come to an end at any time, you will learn to love more tenderly, to forgive more quickly, to cherish more deeply, and to walk more meaningfully. You will no longer waste your time on what exhausts your soul. You will no longer push what truly matters into tomorrow. You will no longer delay your return to me. Wakefulness does not make you afraid. It makes you free because you know you are placing your hope in the one who never changes. Do not wait for the storm to arrive before you seek shelter. Do not wait until the very last moment to begin laying a true foundation. Do not be like those who only come to know me when the road of life has already broken. Come to me while your breath is still gentle, while your steps are still firm, while you still have the chance to set your feet upon the rock I have prepared. I do not want you to stand in your final day with an empty heart. I want you to enter every ending, whether the end of a phase, a season, or of your very breath, with the peace of one who knows they have prepared, have lived rightly, have stood in the right place. I want you to cross that boundary with a light heart, like someone stepping from one room into another, without fear, without panic, because you know that I am waiting for you on the other side of the door. Do not wait for the storm to arrive before you seek shelter. Do not wait until the very last moment to begin laying a true foundation. Do not be like those who only come to know me when the road of life has already broken. Come to me while your breath is still gentle, while your steps are still firm, while you still have the chance to set your feet upon the rock I have prepared. I do not want you to stand in your final day with an empty heart. I want you to enter every ending, whether the end of a phase, a season, or of your very breath, with the peace of one who knows they have prepared, have lived rightly, have stood in the right place. I want you to cross that boundary with a light heart, like someone stepping from one room into another, without fear, without panic, because you know that I am waiting for you on the other side of the door. My child, when your soul enters into a state of wakefulness, you will realize that living prepared is not living in fear of the last day, but living in a freedom that only those who place their whole heart in me can taste. That freedom does not come from controlling the future, nor from clinging tightly to what you love, but from knowing that whatever may come, you still belong to me. When a season of life closes, when a door slams shut, when a body grows old, when a journey can no longer continue, the one who is unprepared will be confused and collapse. But the one who lives awake will be lifted up by my hands and kept in a peace the world cannot give. You imagine that preparation is like carrying a heavy load on your shoulders, like having to do something very hard so as not to be taken by surprise. But, my child, true preparation is actually the path that leads your soul into the sweetest rest, the rest in my arms. You ask me, how should I live in order to be ready? And I answer you with the very things I whisper into your heart every day, which at times, because you are busy, you have brushed aside. Remember me in every step you take. Do not let me become a secondary character in the story of your life. When you place me before every choice, your soul will no longer be strangled by fear, because you know my hand is guiding you. Train yourself to see everything in life from your morning breath, a simple meal, the eyes of your loved ones, to even the smallest challenges as gifts you never have the right to take for granted. Gratitude will open the door to peace, and peace will open the door to readiness. When you live with gratitude, you will no longer demand that life must be flawless before you allow yourself to rejoice. You will not cling excessively to anything merely because you fear losing it. You will not panic in the face of change, because gratitude will remind you, everything you have has been given to you. It is not something you made by yourself. Forgiveness is also a part of preparation, my child, because you do not know whether tomorrow will still grant you a second chance to look into the eyes of the person standing before you today. Do not let your heart become filled with tangled cords of anger and hurt until the day comes when you want to untie them, but it is no longer possible. You do not know that the person you are angry with may leave your life in a sudden instant, and then regret will take from you far more than what you are trying to hold on to now. Forgiveness does not make you weak. Forgiveness makes your soul lighter so that it can cross the peace thresholds of endings without carrying any burden. Forgive quickly, as if every encounter were the last, as if every word might become the final word you send into this universe, and do not forget the truth. Speak the truth, not because I want you to obey a harsh rule, but because truth sets your soul free from its bonds. When you choose to tell the truth, even in the smallest thing, you are training your heart in a straightness that no upheaval can bend. You cannot know whether tomorrow will give you a chance to mend a lie, so live truthfully as if you had no second chance to begin again. You will see that truth makes your heart clean, and a clean heart does not fear my light shining through it. You cannot prepare for a holy life by building it on distortions, for everything that is not true will collapse before you step through the final door. And above all, love with great depth, deeper than where your heart fears being wounded, stronger than the pains you have already endured. For in every ending, love is the only thing that remains fully intact. It is the only thing you can carry with you when all else must be left behind, the only thing that reaches into eternity. You do not love in order to receive, but so that your heart does not freeze, does not slowly die in the numbness that the world sows into human souls. When you love someone with sincerity, your soul naturally becomes light, because love frees you from the need to grasp, to prove, to hold on to anything out of fear. When love is the garment you put on each day, preparation becomes simple. It is like breathing, not a burden. Oh, my child, learn to release the things that belong only to the earth, those things you imagine to be important but that will, in the end, dissolve like dust. Do not pour all your strength into clinging to what cannot walk with you into eternal life. When you loosen your grip, you will discover that what you feared, losing, never had the power you thought it did. Freedom does not come from having much, but from knowing clearly what is truly worth keeping. The things that are of me: love, humility, trust, faithfulness. These are what will stand firm with you before every shifting wind. Hold fast to them, not out of fear, but in the trust that they will lead you along the path of peace. Do not forget to walk in humility. Humility does not make you smaller, it makes you lighter. When you know that your days have been numbered, you will stop being proud, stop comparing, stop racing through life so pointlessly. You will walk more slowly, see more clearly, love more abundantly, and live more truthfully. Humility is how your soul admits that it is not self-sufficient, that it does not know the way on its own, that it cannot save itself. When you know that you need me, you will begin to taste a freedom that the self-important can never touch. Humility opens a road that pride cannot see, the road on which I always walk with you, even when you are at your weakest. And finally, my child, walk in hope. Hope is not an illusion, nor is it a denial of pain. Hope is the decision to believe that no matter how difficult today may be, I am still writing your story with purpose and with love. When you walk in hope, you will not fear tomorrow. You will simply wait to see what new thing I will do in your life. Hope allows you to see that even when endings come suddenly, they are not graves but doors opening into what I have prepared for you from before all ages. Those who live in hope are never crushed by events, because they know there is one above every event who is holding them in his hands. My beloved child, the sudden endings you once feared are not only reminders of your finiteness, they are also gifts of mercy. For if there were not moments when you were forced to stop, you would keep rushing toward things that lead your soul further away from me. If there were no doors that closed, you would never turn around to see which door I am opening for you. If there were no unexpected turns in the road, you would never learn how to hold my hand more tightly. My mercy sometimes wears the appearance of breaking, but beneath it is preservation. I do not let you sink to make you disappear. I allow you to touch the bottom so that you may discover that my hand is there, ready to lift you up. Remember this, my child. Preparation is not shrinking back in fear of the end, but opening your heart to receive true life. When you live in that spirit, you will never step into the final things like someone being pushed, but like someone who understands they are coming home. You are not destroyed when an ending arrives. You are rescued. You are not lost. You are found. You do not fall into darkness. You step into the light I have reserved for your soul. And that is precisely why I am calling you tonight, not to make you tremble, but so that you may know that when everything closes, I will still be standing with open arms, waiting for you. My child, the events through which you once walked trembling were not signs that you had been abandoned, but bells I used to shake your soul awake from a long sleep. Each time you lost something, each time you stood at an unexpected crossroads, each time you saw life refuse to follow the trajectory you had drawn, all of it was my way of pulling back the thin veil you thought was solid, so that you could see what truly has value, what you should keep, and what you need to let go of. They were not given to torment you, but to help you understand that you were not born to cling to things that are crumbling in your hands. They open your eyes so that you may know your heart was not made to grasp at what fades away with time. I know you feel disturbed when life refuses to fit within your calculations. I know you are afraid when everything you have built begins to shake or collapse. But my dear one, it is precisely these tremors that soften your soul, make it humble again, make it quiet again. They erase from you the illusion that you control everything, that if you would just try a little harder, everything would go back to the way you want it. Do you not see? When things slip beyond your grasp, that is also when my hand becomes clearer. When what you trusted for safety can no longer protect you, that is when you see that I alone am the one who never changes. This world is beautiful, but it is not solid enough to be your home. It can be the place you pass through, but never the place you belong. Only in me do you have the support on which you can rest the full weight of your soul without fear of falling. I know you are afraid of uncertainty. You long for something stable, something that does not change, something you can touch and know it will not vanish. But my child, that does not lie in what you can hold with your hands. It lies in where you place your heart. If your heart clings to what is temporary, it will tremble with those very things. But if your heart is rooted deeply in me, you will stand firm even when strong winds arise. You cannot stop the waves from crashing in, but you can cling to the rock that no storm can break. You cannot hold on to the light of late afternoon, but you can take hold of the lamp that never goes out. You cannot stop time, but you can make every moment bear eternal meaning when you live in awareness of me. As you begin to prepare your heart, you will notice this miracle. The end will no longer be as terrifying as it was when you were still in darkness. It will no longer look like a thief coming to steal everything from you. It will become like a messenger gently knocking at your door to hand you a new message. It will no longer be a wall blocking your way. It will become a door leading you into a reality you have never known, yet one your soul has always longed for. Then you will look at the end with different eyes, not the eyes of fear, but the eyes of worship, the eyes of one who knows they are stepping into what I have long prepared. That is why tonight my word comes to you stronger, clearer, more earnest than before. Not because I wish to frighten you, but because you are standing in a decisive moment. A night of awakening, a night of choosing, a night in which, if you but incline your heart toward me, every burden you carry will begin to soften, to grow lighter, to dissolve like morning mist in the sunlight. I do not come to crush you. I come to uphold you. I do not come to condemn you. I come to call your name with the tenderness that only a father can have for his lost child. I know what you have been through. I know the wounds that made you close your heart. I know the mistakes that cause you to feel unworthy. But my child, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by the one who created you and who has been calling you by your name since the beginning. You were not born to live for passing moments, not born to chase things that are beautiful for an instant and then fall away. You were created for things greater, deeper, more real. You were not created to belong to this darkness, but to step into the light I set aside for you before the world existed. From the beginning, I knew you would walk through nights of darkness. I knew you would stumble. I knew you would be confused at many crossroads. But I also knew that one day, like this very night, you would hear my voice more clearly than the voice of every fear within you. And in that very moment, you would understand that you have never been alone, that I have not left you even for a single breath. My child, I am here. I have always been here. Not as a feeling that appears only when you pray fervently, not as a vapor sensed only when your spirit is keen, but as a source of life flowing quietly through every movement of your days. I do not watch you from afar. I walk with you in every step. I do not only see what you reveal outwardly, I touch the things you dare not admit to anyone else. I know the professed, smallest trembling within you, and I do not love you any less in the very moment of your weakness. And because you are this precious, I cannot remain silent while you stand at the edge of a crucial decision. Tonight is not an ordinary night, my beloved. It is a night when heaven and earth turn, a night when your soul stands on the threshold of change, a night when you can choose to step into true life. Let yourself feel it. Is there not a soft trembling within you, like the earth stirring before the rainy season? That is the signal of awakening. That is my breath touching your heart so that you may know you are being called home. You were created for me, not for the life you are restlessly trying to hold together, not for the worries that weigh you down each day, not for endless adjustments by which you attempt to cover the emptiness inside. You were created to belong to me, the one who knew you in your mother's womb, who counts every hair on your head, who understands even what you have never spoken aloud. I do not only want to free you from fear, I want to lead you into the fullness of life I have prepared for you. I want you to know that the end you thought was the final period is only the beginning of something new, brighter, and more complete. You were made for me. And when you realize this with your whole soul, every night will lose its power over you. You will understand that you do not live merely to escape fear, but to enter into unchanging love. You will understand that I do not call you back to take away your freedom, but to give you true freedom, the freedom the world cannot give and cannot take away. You need only take one step. I will do the rest. Come home, my child. You have belonged to me from the beginning, and I have waited so long to hear these words from you. Lord, here I am. My child, when I tell you to live ready, I am not asking you to live in fear or in the constant anxiety of expecting something terrible to happen. I want you to see that every moment of your life is a gift, an honor, an opportunity for your soul to touch eternity in the present. Each morning, when you open your eyes, you are not only seeing the sunlight, you are witnessing the continuation of the grace I give you. You do not wake yourself. It is I who raise you up with the breath I place in your chest. Therefore, let every morning begin with a heart full of gratitude, because there is no gift more precious than being allowed to live one more day in my love. And when your heart is grateful, you will see everything differently. What you once considered small will become sacred. What you once considered pressure will become opportunity. What you once considered mere habit will take on new meaning. When you speak, I want you to speak with the awareness that each word can carry life or death, healing or harm. Speak with honesty, gentleness, and wakefulness, as if these were the last words you could send into the world. I do not tell you this because I fear you will fall silent forever, but because I want you to know that every word is a seed falling into someone's heart. There is someone who needs only one warm word from you to stand up again after long nights of despair. There is someone who needs only a single sentence from you to find themselves again. And sometimes, you yourself will find your own heart healed through the sincere words you offer to others. Do not wait until tomorrow to say words of love, words of apology, words of gratitude, for tomorrow does not belong to you. And when you speak with this awareness, you are sowing into heaven and earth the traces of the love I have for you. I want you to love every soul you meet as if it were the last time you would ever see them. Not so that you live in sorrow, but so that you may learn to love without calculation, without reserve, without holding back what is good. You do not know which encounter will be the last, which embrace will be the final one, which greeting will be the last goodbye. But I know, and because I know, I want you not to let your heart close itself to anyone I bring into your life, even if only for a brief moment. There are those I send to lift you up. There are those I let you meet to teach you patience. There are those who come to help you see the parts of yourself you have hidden. And there are those who come only so that you may realize how deeply you need me. Every soul has a worth that goes far beyond what you can see. Love them with the compassion that flows from my own heart, so that whatever turns life may take, you will still know that you have lived true to the purpose I have placed within your heart. Forgive as if you no longer had much time left to hesitate. You do not need to wait until the other person is worthy, because forgiveness is not a reward for them, but the key that sets your own soul free. When you forgive, you do not erase the painful memory, but you loosen the cord that has bound your heart to that pain. Many people live their whole lives with wounds that never close because they keep waiting for an apology that may never come. But do not be like them. You were created for freedom, not to remain a prisoner of what is past. And I know that forgiveness can be so hard that you must struggle with yourself. But, my child, let me help you, for when you open your heart to forgive, it is I, myself, who pour peace into your heart. My beloved child, hold lightly the things that belong to this world. I know you are trying to build, to protect, to strive, to nurture. You long for a stable life and you want to guard what you love. I do not forbid you that, but I want you to understand that everything earthly is fragile. Life can change in a single breath. Possessions can disappear in one night. What you cling to today may no longer be beside you tomorrow. When you grasp everything too tightly, you weigh your own heart down without realizing it. You begin to fear even the smallest things, because you are afraid of losing what you use to define yourself. You fear a door closing, you fear a word of rejection, you fear something or someone leaving you. But my child, I want you to hold these things gently, as you would hold a leaf in the wind, treasuring it, cherishing it, yet never mistaking it for the source of your life. While you hold lightly the things of this earth, I want you to hold tightly to the things that belong to me. What I give never fades, is never worn down by time, and is never destroyed by the upheavals of life. My love for you, my promises to you, the eternal life I have prepared for you, these are what you can hold forever without fear of losing them. When you build your foundation on me, no wind can topple you. When you place your hope in me, no circumstance can steal the peace within your heart. Cling to me, and you will find the strength to pass through every trial without falling. There will come a day when an ending you did not expect will appear, not to frighten you, but to remind you that this journey is not without limit. When an ending comes to something in your life, a relationship, a dream, a path, a season, you will not be shaken if you have been living awake. You will not feel lost because you have already placed your heart in my hands. You will not be swept away by sudden storms because you know that I am still there, standing in the midst of the storm, holding you steady as I did from the very beginning. For I am the one who was, who is, and who is to come. There is no moment in which I am absent. There is not a single instant when I abandon you to stand alone. I am the one who holds the beginning and the end, the one who brought you into life, and the one who will welcome you when every stage of the journey is complete. Wherever you are on the path, I am walking beside you, lifting you when you are weak, steadying you when you stumble, and sheltering you when you are afraid of the dark. And if you let me take your hand, I will lead you through every ending into new beginnings you have never imagined. You need only trust me. Trust not because you have every reason neatly laid out, but because you know I have never broken a promise. Trust not because life is easy, but because you know I am stronger than every trial. Trust not because you are good enough, but because my love is enough. When you place your trust in me, you are building a shelter for your soul, a dwelling that fierce winds cannot topple and darkness cannot invade. Prepare your heart, not with anxiety, but with the peace that comes from knowing you are walking with the one who has never changed. Live awake, like someone who knows that every moment carries eternal meaning. Keep your eyes and your heart open to recognize my hand in every change. And even when an ending comes without warning, I am never taken by surprise. You may tremble, but I remain steadfast. You may be confused, but I remain unchanging. You may change, but I am the one who does not change, from generation to generation. Now open wide your heart, lay down everything that weighs upon you, and offer me a prayer that rises from the deepest place in your soul. Let every whispered word become the heartbeat of your return. Lord, I come before you with the trembling of a soul that knows its own frailty. I recognize that everything I am holding in my hands can slip away from me in a single moment. Please grant me a wakeful heart, that I may not live like one who deceives themselves into thinking they have endless tomorrows. Open my eyes to see what truly belongs to you and what only leads me step by step farther away from you. Do not let me be the one who builds the house of my life upon passing illusions. Set me upon the rock of your word, so that when the storms of life rise up, my soul may still stand firm amid every change. Lord, please step into every dark corner I am afraid to face, heal the wounds I have been hiding, and make my heart beat once more in response to your call. I surrender myself entirely. Good and gentle Lord Jesus, you who have gone before me in every suffering and every resurrection, please enter my life as you entered the darkest paths of humanity. I have trembled before collapse and unforeseen endings, but now I understand that every ending carries within it an invitation to return. Open my eyes, Lord, that I may see what is truly precious. Open my ears, that I may hear your quiet knocking at the door of my heart. Teach me to forgive and to love before it is too late, for I do not know how many more chances I will have. Lord, lead me along the path of grace, so that even as I walk through the night, I may still move toward the dawn of the eternal day. I thank you, Lord, for every moment that I am still allowed to exist. I know that not a single instant of my life takes place outside your providence. I thank you for the times you rescued me from paths that I did not even realize were leading me to the edge of the abyss. Thank you for correcting me with gentleness, for stirring me with truth, and for waiting for me with a patience that no one on earth can match. I ask that I may engrave in my heart the grace you have given me in every heartbeat of my life. I thank you, Father, for the endings that I once thought were losses, but now understand were your protection over me. Thank you for not allowing me to build my life upon illusions that would draw me away from you. Thank you for letting me experience both light and darkness, so that I may know where I truly belong. Thank you, Father, for calling me back, even when I had nothing to offer but a broken heart. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so that together we may build a strong and vibrant community of faith.